Whenever you're ready. Bring back that beat.
It seems like you had some trouble with your mute button.
Huh?
It seems like you had some trouble with your mute button.
Nah, I'm doing my homage to Sean Rapp.
Oh man, Sean Rapp.
Sean Rapp. Fox.
Oh. Now, Ben,
long pause.
It's after the 4, and then he wait. Then we'll come back tomorrow and say,
right. He ran around the block, and then he go back.
We're like, Sean, you there? Sean, you there?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I love it, man.
Man, welcome back to the Fourcast. Seems like we've been on for 2 weeks, but I think it's only been 1. Right?
Have it?
It's been 2? I know the Cowboys played 1 week.
Yeah.
And then the week before that, I thought.
Well, we did that.
We did do 1 week.
Descendants.
We did Descendant, yeah. But we are back again with another great show. And what we do on this show, we review movies, films, documentaries, a completely different way, 4 different perspectives. And we go straight at the black films. That's mainly what we do. It's got to have a black lead, female or male. We pay respect to those films, and that's our lane. So, good to see you, brothers, again. Hey, Trap, how you doing?
I'm good.
I like that. I like the theater background.
I'm ready.
Homage to Hollywood Shuffle when they were reviewing the movies.
Sneaking in the movies.
Exactly.
Wilkes, how you doing?
Pretty good. Doing all right. Doing good.
Good. Dog.
Hang on, you ain't finished with Wilkes yet.
What? Why is that?
You ain't asked about his cup or nothing like that?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see the cup. I didn't see the cup yet.
Well, we don't have to see it to know that it exists.
It's the old school. It's a homage to the amaretto sour,
Shit, you don't see the pilot when you're flying in the plane, motherfucker, but you still buckle your seatbelt and ride, don't you?
Yeah, it's there. You're right. It's there.
Amaretto sour tonight. Nothing crazy. Old school.
I'm a fan. I could have joined you with that this evening.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But Doc, welcome back. How was Tampa?
Tampa was fantastic, man. It really was. In fact, back to Wilkes again. It's like this is the Wilkes special today. We've been talking off camera and on, but I had no idea the Cuban influence was as big in Tampa as it is in Miami. Maybe even more so, man.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
I didn't know. No
idea, man.
And you may have ran into a few restaurants.
Oh, no doubt, I did.
Yeah,
I did. And let me just say this. If it was a situation where I could name the beauty of the week, them 3 Cubans that worked at this restaurant called it's 86 something 86. If I could name one of them. Yeah. So meat pies galore this weekend. I tried every different meat pie I could. There's this place that had some, man, that were just fantastic, man. In fact, we got a Bahama Breeze here, right?
We do.
Well, they have a Bahama Breeze Island Grill, and the graphics and stuff like that make me think it's just a larger restaurant of the small, because the ones we have are kind of like small, little, like snow cone kind of places or whatever, right? Yeah. But this is a full-fledged restaurant, a large restaurant. And they meat pies in their home, boy.
Woo! Did you post?
I posted a picture of those. Okay. Yeah, and then some of those conch fritters too. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. I've had better conch fritters But the meat pies, oh boy, that was some of the best I'd have never had, and the sauce they give you two different kinds of dip with it. One's a white sauce that has some sort of a ranch type situation, and the other is some kind of sweet pineapple kind of sauce. The sweet pineapple sauce would go great on some other meats, but not on the meat pie.
The meat pie. Yeah, I got to see how that kind of worked in.
Yeah, there was a little clash there. Pastor Dot, you are 100% right. The cigar, capital of the world.
Yeah.
Which I had no idea. Ybor City is one of the neighborhoods or whatever that, they do some hand rolling. Yeah, some hand rolling there. Yeah. I didn't get an opportunity to go there, but my cousin did go to a cigar bar that he said was just outstanding. Yeah, I kind of chilled. My room was so good, I didn't want to leave that much because I had
right.
Just so relaxing with the balcony and whatnot. But the game was fantastic. The people were fantastic. The weather was fantastic, Yeah. So yeah, Tampa, I hadn't been to that part of Florida, so Tampa didn't disappoint, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up. And the Cowboys won. I mean, that's a perfect situation right there. So.
Yep. Got to make some memories with my twin boys and my cousin and stuff like that, So I got to go check out some of the more adult establishments. The
wet dollar establishments,
wrinkled ones, damp ones. Is what they're
moist.
So Tampa didn't disappoint, man.
Yeah. Welcome back. Let's go to the chat room real quick. DJ Ramal in the building, and he was in there early at 8:13.
Did you say hi to H-Rap, man?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. You said something about the theater. It didn't last that long. So. Yeah, Lamar been in the building. Is this a relative H-Rap? Lamar,
he part of the little part. I got to get out of saying that little thing. He part of the podcast culture that me and Ben come from.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, he was in early. Appreciate you.
Yeah, D Great, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, Black Sprinkler. Yep. D Great, man. Everybody said their prayers, but the prayers wasn't enough, man. Give me. He's a Cowboys fan. He's out in South Central LA. Yeah. So give us your thoughts, D Great. DJ Knox, thank you for tuning in. All right, so tonight, on the recommendation of A-Trap, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. This was a great recommendation. Entergalactic. It is on Netflix. I would highly recommend you see it. Kid Cudi was the director, producer. I don't know if he was the director, but
no, he wasn't the director, but he was the creator of it.
He was the creator of it, yeah. He was all hands-on with this one. The creativity was crazy. But we definitely going to get into it. Yeah. So let's go right into it. Initial thoughts. I'm going to go to you first, A-Trap. This was when you recommended.
Actually, I just recommended it because I saw it. I didn't even watch it before I recommended it. I just looked at it, saw it was a Black love story, and it's something that we need more of. I really enjoyed it. I liked the story. It was real. It was very authentic. I think it was better as a animated film than it would have been as an actual film.
Yeah,
because they got a chance to juice up the characters, juice up the story a little bit, and it showed authentic relationship versus getting too caught up in what's going around them. It focused on the characters. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I watched it twice, 3 times. As a matter of fact.
Wilkes.
I thought it was done well. I love the different colors, how that kind of came together. It was definitely, if you listen to Kid Cudi's music, I know I've listened to quite a bit of it. Just watching this, I mean, it was Kid Cudi all over it. I mean, from his music, from his album covers to his music videos, even some references back to some of his earlier albums. Were in here for me, but I want to rewatch it, but I'm going to rewatch it with my headphones on while listening to Kid Cudi. So I'm going to see how that kind of mixes together, how that goes. With
You're going to smoke your one with it?
Yeah, of course.
That'd be best.
We'll see. But I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Nice straw. Shout out to Keisha, Key, Lolo, K-Rap, LaShawn, the realest. Girl, you like one of them people on Dateline that got a whole bunch of aliases. You don't know which one is which. Wise in the building. Thank you for
the
tuning
Chris
in.
Hansen Dateline or the other one? To Catch a Predator.
The other Dateline. The one that go on Fridays, not the one where they.
Hey, come on in.
Yeah, don't turn around now.
What you got there? You got a 12-pack with you? Some condoms in the sack too?
Right.
Oh, and some gummy bears? What's up with that, homeboy?
Right. Just shake him down.
Yeah. They be done. Shook. And
I
Chris
just
Hansen
came to
actually
talk,
went to jail for
motherfucker.
something.
I just came to talk, man.
He was gonna play cards.
Oh my God.
Kirby Alexander, thank you for tuning in. She said, "Don't forget pimp or PIMP." Okay.
Okay.
All right. Doc.
Yeah, let me get back to my little old spiel. You know, we talk about the plot for those who are not aware of what the movie was about. Like H-Rap alluded to, it is a black love story. Ambitious artist Jabari attempts to balance success and love after he moves into his dream Manhattan apartment and falls for his next door neighbor. Initially announced as a television series in August 2022, Entergalactic was then redeveloped as a TV special. So as I was, trying to find it and locate it and, kind of get prepared to take notes and stuff like that, they kept referring to it as a series here and there in certain spots, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Is this going to be a series? Is this a movie? Is this then based on the length, it was actually closer related to a feature length film, apparently they do already have plans for Entergalactic, what they're calling season 2, which would probably just simply be another feature-length film. So I think they're doing it like that, Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Again, the initial release was September the 30th of 2022. I'm not familiar with the director, Fletcher Moles, but he is the guy who directed it. But as we mentioned earlier, Kid Cudi and Kenya Barris was are the creators of it. Kid Cudi, I didn't know that his real name was Scott Ramon Seguro Mescudi, spelled Mescudi, which is a very interesting name, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm not sure what his background is, racial, ethnic background is, or makeup is, or whatnot, but that's different. Now, another thing that I kind of researched is the title Entergalactic, right? Because when I first heard about it, what did you think? What did y'all think? I thought some Star Wars kind of shit,
I thought they were going to be like, right? I thought some aliens were invading or something.
Yeah. But the reason why it's called Entergalactic is because the title came from his first album. And he did actually a song and it was Entergalactic, but it was separated. It wasn't together like this. It was called Entergalactic. Right. And it was about him meeting this girl for the first time, them doing shrooms and having some wild sex. So, he kind of took this and turned it into a film. So first impressions were fantastic. If I could tell you, when I saw it was an animated thing, I was not happy about it. I was like, fuck. An animated movie, what the fuck are we doing? But 30 minutes in, I'm texting people that I know who would be into this kind of stuff. And like, hey, have you seen this? And I'm like fully engulfed, fully engrossed, and was like, this is super dope. The art of it, the story of it. I thought it was fantastic, man.
Yeah. The level of creativity, I didn't realize how creative this guy was or is. Excuse me. So I was honestly blown away. I didn't know what to expect either. I watched the preview, which gave you some of it, but I was definitely impressed. And I haven't seen him in concert. My wife actually did through her job. She was like, I didn't really understand a lot of what he was saying, but I think the dude is beyond just a music artist. I think you obviously need to see
Yeah.
He did. Oh, go ahead.
No. I was going to say that's why when I was watching this, a lot of it for me was relatable to his earlier albums and his music. And it's always this abstract, cosmic, just kind of on this psychedelic drift and just, in and out of his, life experiences and maybe encounters.
Yeah. Hey, Trap, what were we going to say?
No, anytime I think of Kid Cudi, I think of one of my favorite rap artists, Sean Price. In the middle of one of his songs, he said, "If you got Kid Cudi in your playlist, delete me from your iPod."
Who said that?
Sean Price. Anytime I hear Kid Cudi, I hear him say that.
Well, Kid Cudi and this Wilkes, you alluded to it and said that you got to consider him more than just a rapper. And as soon as you said that, I immediately says strong Donald Glover vibes. Childish Gambino.
Okay.
Kind of creativity and but in his own lane. I mean, think about it. He ain't stole this from nobody. And I think he can go somewhere with this, to be perfectly honest with you. I think it can be a whole cult following kind of situation and a whole lane by himself, man.
Yeah, and he does. I'm telling you, my wife went to the concert. It was packed. He has the cult following. I didn't really understand it, but I think through this film, for me, I understood, like, okay, I see why people.
Well, you got to get high to see it, man. That's why you don't see it.
I mean, he literally has a song called Marijuana, but
you got to get high.
He raps about that.
He was brushing his teeth
and passing a joint.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's what he do.
Yeah.
He's a brainchild of Kanye West, isn't he?
Right. I think Kanye found him, or Kanye or Kid Cudi came to him or something like that.
Chance the Rapper.
You said what?
He like the adult version of Chance the Rapper. The rated R version, I should say.
The rated R version. We got somebody that know who you talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wise is from New York, so he's definitely on that
BK all day.
Scene. Yeah.
I feel like Sean Price has done something with Apollo Brown.
Man, Sean Price was before he passed away. He was all over the place. He was West Coast, East Coast.
Done some stuff.
Yeah, Sean Price was everywhere, man.
Yeah. As you can kind of see behind me and behind our the four of us, there's the variety of the colors, which the artwork, man, the color scheme, I definitely loved it, and I loved how they did it in chapters. So if you notice, they went like chapter, because I was thinking like, this really could have been a book. This could have been a series, a movie, or it was obviously an album. But there's so many lanes and I think of possibilities with this. This is really just, I think the surface of what he's able to do.
Yeah, I think that was a very creative way to do it. The chapters, I'm digging that, because it's just different phases. It's just showing different phases of the relationship, different phases of life. How life changes, how life sneaks up on you, and you in a situation, you out of a situation, and you didn't see a situation coming. That was super dope, man. I mean, I really appreciated it. It it's kind of put me in the mind of a Mom's Red Bottom or Fences, but in cartoon form.
Yeah. And even though it was a cartoon, it was still real. It was you felt it. You felt you felt the talking scenes and the faces. I think the greatest thing about the art was that you knew who it was. Like, you knew that was Ty Dolla $ign just because it looked like him. You kind of knew that was Timothy Chalamet. I think he was one of the friends that was in it.
Yeah.
Like you knew it because the way they did it, it was just so. Because I looked up, everybody that was in it, and I was like, yeah, they looked exactly like the people. I think that's what made it even more real than it being like cartoonish And then I think that would have kind of killed the vibe too.
Yeah, because very shortly you forget you watching a cartoon basically or an animated movie.
Right.
And you want to talk about power packed. We talk about films and whatnot, like The Harder They Fall, and we talk about how power packed it is with talent.
Yeah.
In this particular animation, like one of the things that I noticed right off the bat was Luis Guzman. That is a actor that is in some of everything, and I recognize his voice right away. Then of course, as being mentioned, you got Ty Dolla $ign, you got Macaulay Culkin in here as Downtown Pat, which was a fantastic character, So yeah, man. So I think they did a fantastic job. And then of course, there's some not as well known actors in the film as well, who I think all of them did a fantastic job, man. I really do.
Yeah.
Very creative, but yeah, some power pack, some talent in this thing, some big time Hollywood folks.
Yeah. Big Illinois in the building. Thank you for tuning in.
Up,
It's A-Trap, aka Speed, was singing in the movie. Yep, he was right along with us. A great MC, I think, talking about Sean Price,
sure.
Underrated lyricist.
For sure.
Kid Cudi is an artist. Luis Guzman is a great character.
Great character, yeah.
And they had our guy, Keith David, who was Mr. Rager. He only had one line.
Yeah,
well, he had a couple lines in it, but shout out to Keith David. He's been in quite a few films that we've reviewed so far. So it kind of opens up. He's moving into this, Manhattan apartment. Just got a new job. I think it was 100% relatable. You get that new apartment. You get that job that kind of take you to that next level. You able to move out on your own and do your own thing. You got the ex that came in, which that the sex scenes it didn't make you think like it was animated at all. Like they did. He really did a good job. The director really did a good job of like encompassing everything. But I felt like that chapter 1 it was titled Dog Whistle, and that was kind of the basically the opening, of him. I think kind of basically coming into his own. I don't know the tie to Dog Whistle. I don't know, was that related to the ex, or what was your thoughts on that?
That's what I thought. Yeah, that it's that sound that only a dog can hear, right?
Yeah.
And I thought they did a fantastic job showing the relationship between his friends, their take on that relationship.
Yeah.
The conflict within himself about it. He gone and take the coochie again, but then immediately be like, okay, this probably shouldn't have went down, kind of deal. So yeah, I think they did a fantastic job with that. But I think it was related, from my estimation, based on how much chapter 1 had to do with her. I think for sure the dog whistle was a reference to that old relationship.
Yeah. Well, like in recent times, dog whistle is a term used for saying things without saying them. It's saying something directly, but you're really not saying it, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, we cool. We can hang out. Sorry we had sex, but that's not what it is. And I pretty much let you know before we laid down that it wasn't that. So the dog whistle was, I ain't really doing nothing. I ain't really trying to get on nothing. He didn't say, no, I don't want no coochie, but he was pretty much saying, I'll take some coochie, but it ain't nothing more than a coochie. So in recent political times, the dog whistle is traditionally attached to racism. Like Fox News, they do a lot of dog whistling. They say things and it triggers the outside audience.
That base. Yep.
That base. So he was letting her know, hey, like, we gonna kick it, we gonna drink, we gonna do our thing, and then we gonna do our thing, but we ain't gonna do nothing but that thing.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Wilkes, you wanna
I feel like well, kind of like what H-Rap was saying in Dog Commission. That like even at that moment when you guys said that, it was kind of like when he was riding his bike and she was getting his attention. It was kind of like, oh well, I nobody else is paying attention but you and I. This is
it was just him and her. Yep.
So it was definitely that. I saw that when you mentioned that, made that comment, but Yeah, it was just one of those moments where it was like we've been there before and we bump into an ex or something like that, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, how you been? I guess you're
Yeah, I even like the interaction between them. It was very black. Their interaction, like some of the things that they said to each other, and how they was kind of being sarcastic with each other, but they kind of knew it, and so those are some of the things that I thought, other races watching this, they may not pick up on some of those subtle things.
Right.
And I think the conversation he had with the ex and some of the conversation he was having with the chick next door when they started to date, that was a lot of that taking place, to where they were showing, and in order to put that in a film like that, you have to have a unique understanding of it to even go there with it, which I think they get points there,
Yeah, this was definitely heavily relationship, career driven.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all those elements were there.
And it was on the positive tip. It wasn't no same old career fields, that kind of stuff. They were both artists, but both highly intelligent. And when he was riding the mongoose, he got points on that. I mean, that's
mongoose.
the mongoose bite.
Nobody would know about the mongoose.
I'm like, he get points on just even bringing that out.
Right.
Thought that was super cool.
And real quick, I wanted to touch on Kid Cudi's background. So he was born, Cleveland. He grew up in Shaker Heights. His mother is an African-American school choir teacher at Roxbury Middle School. His father was a house painter, substitute teacher, and World WW2 Air Force veteran of African-American and Mexican descent.
WW2.
Yeah, World War II.
Now he's
I don't know what I mean.
You're gonna say your Bible scriptures like Trump pretty soon, ain't you?
Yeah,
2 Thessalonians, man.
3 Peter, yeah. Well, that's a little bit. So he got that from his dad, that art side of it, and then the music part, from his mom. So that's a little bit.
That's deep right there, man, because it's something in your DNA. Because just simply because you're around it don't mean you get it, right?
Right.
So that's in your blood, man.
Right.
And getting it both ways.
Yeah.
It's really, you can compare it to an athlete that's fire, right? Like Adrian Peterson, his dad was a heck of an athlete, basketball and football, and his mama was a world-class sprinter. So he got it on us. Just like athleticism is in your DNA, that artistic flair is in your DNA too. It's I bet you it's a certain part of the brain that is developed more than the regular people who are not as creative or as artistic. You follow what I'm saying?
I agree. Shout out to Cool McCain, co-host of the NFC Beast. He has the Eagles Elite podcast. He also has the Play Callers Sports Talk. Appreciate you for tuning in.
Yeah, what's up, Cool?
Definitely. That closure hoodie, it looks so simple, but I was like, I need to get me one of those. Yeah, I mean, like the way they
but
did
hopefully
the
you gonna wash yours a few more times than he washed it. He kept putting that motherfucker on, didn't he?
You need to spray some Febreze on there.
That motherfucker smell like weed and everything.
Right.
Weed and toothpaste. That's about it. But yeah. Wilkes, you mentioned some stuff about the fashion. I still didn't catch it. So
so this actually also was dedicated to the late Virgil. I guess it's Abloh. Is that how you pronounce his last name? Yeah. He was, of course, a fashion artist, and one of his things, it wasn't just through clothing. I think he also collected a few pieces of art too, and went to galleries. But he actually designed the clothes that they were wearing in this movie or animated movie. And then there was one where the friend was wearing the shirt dedicated to him. It had his name on it. And then at the end of the movie, they have a billboard. They have Kid Cudi pointing at him, and then Virgil is on the other side of the billboard. It was pretty dope. That's why I said the colors, for me, I connected it with Virgil as an artist, and just Kid Cudi's album art, that second album, and maybe that third album. But this was definitely for me, because I've listened to him quite a bit, and it was just great to see this done the way it was done. I mean, I didn't even when I saw that it was animated, I was kind of like Doc at first. I was kind of like, oh, what are they gonna be? And then of course I'm like, are they being attacked by aliens? They going time jump? Like what's happening? But no, it was really done really well. I mean, even the aspects in the blackness in the movie where he was like, don't put your hands on me, and he's kind of like, oh, but I'm here for trouble. I'm not here for trouble.
Like, no,
I'm
hold on, bro. Calm down, bro. It's good,
they
bro.
still kept that. They still kept that aspect, and it's kind of like this was really done well, and I think it worked as an animated movie because, like H-Rap was saying, it may not have been as good. Maybe I think they would have. Maybe
I don't think it would have been.
Yeah, I think they would have lost some things there if it was live action.
And it wasn't corny.
Yeah,
I think that was my fear. Like, okay, this is gonna be corny, but it wasn't at all.
Then let me ask you, go ahead, A-Trap.
Kudos to them, man, because Virgil was and when it comes to the fashion world, Virgil was a trendsetter. He knocked down plenty of walls so people could walk through that fashion industry. Louis Vuitton, he was a VP of Louis Vuitton. Valenciago. I mean, this dude was a trendsetter. He was taken away way too soon to cancer. He was big here in Chicago. He was big all over New York. It was just he had connections with Wes. It's these dudes here, Dave, Jeff, them there. A lot of that stuff was it was, y'all know how much I'm into the hip hop culture. This was extremely hip hop, and it was really dope. The dialogue, like Dog said, it was us. It was us personified. It was this was a Fourcast film. That's the best way I could put it. This was a feature film created. It's almost like they said, you know what? It's these four cats doing this podcast every Monday night. We need to do something for them, and they made this. And shout out to those people.
Definitely.
Yeah. Right. Let me ask you something about animation in terms of making it. Back in the day, people don't understand how much went into animation, right? To where, you're having to draw, 1,000 pieces of paper, in order for one scene, not even a scene, a 5-second, move across the screen, And I would imagine with technology, some of that may have been cut down, but am I wrong? Is it still as time consuming as it,
It is. You still have the pencil side of it, but now everything is moving into computer and digital frames and capturing and coloring. Okay. Actually, that was one of my graphic designs was one of my things that I was going to go into because the funny thing was, I couldn't decide in high school who I was going to work for. I was either going to draw for Disney or draw for Marvel, and now they're both one company. So, but graphic animation, and then of course that also leads into why I plate the way
your ass got stuck with Ben. Shit, what the
hell? Hey, man.
Cooking burgers.
So like, a white plate for me and different colored plates are like a canvas for me. That's why I plate the way I plate.
That's what's up.
It's I guess the word, it's an extension of how I view art. I've always enjoyed art, and my mom actually painted a lot when I was a little kid. And I remember going to those art stores and, her getting the brushes and the different colors. And my dad, he would sketch every now and then. So I'm sure I picked up some of that. But my daughter is definitely has latched on to drawing and animating and creating characters. So she's got a little of that talent in there. My wife actually went to an art college in Washington, D.C., which I don't know if she said she didn't finish it, but she is extremely talented when it comes to art and creation. So
put that comment back up there, Ben. Just let me address this. There's no way that anybody could sit and have paid attention to this to think that it was weird, right? You would have to be passively watching this movie to think that it's weird, because the only way you could get the weirdness of it is because of the animation and the way that they moved and stuff like that. But if you actually focused on the music, it was on the movie, it was very easy to follow. It was a story being told well.
Absolutely.
So anybody who think it was a little weird, there's no way you paid attention.
Yeah,
to this
because
movie.
the funny
No
thing
way.
is, what I thought when I also watched this, food was very present in this movie again.
Yep.
That's right.
Food and music, whether she turned him
Hey.
on to a vegan burger that blew his mind.
Yeah.
The pregnant lady, her friend, was walking and eating. I mean, it was all over the place.
Yeah.
But the relationship and the interactions day in and day out, I mean, that was pretty solid.
Yeah.
It didn't make you go, oh, I've never ran into that before, or that can't exist.
But in CJ's defense, this was a very mature story.
That's in his defense.
No,
because I was gonna say this. That's a kick in the nuts, right there.
No, this wasn't a movie geared to like we watched like 2 movies in the last 6 months have been geared towards people Ari's age. You know, it was a very young. What was the Marlon Wayans movie? That was a young person's movie.
Yeah.
This was a movie about life and interacting with life, taking life to the next level. CJ is right at that age. So these young people, from what I hear from CJ, because CJ tunes in to me and BJ's podcast all the time, and him and BJ interact, I think they are not used to mature women. They're not used to that connection. So us being 35 to 50 years old, we understood it. They are coming from he's coming from a different world.
I think it's exactly what I said. They watch TV different. They watch movies different. They don't wait. They doing 5,000 different things when they taking in a show. So there's no way you could just be focused on this movie and not follow it, because it's not high intelligence in where it was a hard to follow thing. It was very basic things. And even if he's not exposed to more mature females, or if even his career path is not where it is, it's not hard to follow in those terms. Yeah. So for him to say it's a little weird, I'm telling you, dude, and CJ, please answer this question. He was doing 10 other things while he was checking this out. Go ahead, Will.
I just felt like I mean, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to be along the lines of, like, some animated stuff can be overly kiddish, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. That's what's up. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But then there's some animations that are for adults, and this is one of them. I mean, like I said, when you watch this, these are conversations that you have with your homies.
Real life shit.
She was having conversations with her girls.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, I mean, you've seen this, you've heard it, especially if you watched Insecure, if you watched Love and Basketball, if you watched Best Man. I mean, all of these elements are.
And I done had conversations with CJ that are deep conversations, so it ain't something that he cannot follow.
Right.
But this cat, for him to say it was a little weird,
not what I'm saying.
I'm telling you, he wasn't paying attention to this movie.
All right.
Well, I wonder what made it. Maybe he can answer what made it weird to him, because I mean, the music was legit.
Yeah, we can let him answer.
But if you passively watch it, think about it for a second. Imagine if you were in another room and you came into the kitchen to grab something and somebody was watching this movie.
Yeah.
And you just glanced at it. You're like, man, that's some weird shit. Because you ain't in the story. You ain't paying attention to how to set up.
They drifting through space, and you're like, what is happening right now? He said,
nah, Doc, the animation. Yeah, he said the animation was off, but everything else was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
That I guess. Go ahead, A-Trap. You were gonna say something.
No, I just think, like he said, that's what I was thinking. I think he looked at it, said, this is a cartoon. They were in, I know CJ. I mean, CJ will write a book in my show, so I know he's highly intelligent. I'm not discarding his intelligence. I just think this was a movie pushed towards 30 and older, because this is a 30 and older kind of conversation that they were having. He had homeboys who telling him initially, everybody got that one homeboy who's just a hound. He in the streets, he hitting anything he can. And then you got other homeboys saying, hey man, you need to do the right thing. And then, you confuse her homegirls telling her, it's just, I don't think these young people are truly having these conversations. So CJ's looking, in my personal opinion, CJ may have been looking at the color schemes, looking at all this crazy stuff that's going on, looking at the vagina parties and going, what is this? And he didn't stop and engage, because it was beyond what he's doing.
Yeah. So CJ, you missed the first part of the show, and me and Wilkes both have said, well, I'm not. As soon as I knew the movie was an animation movie, I was immediately like, shit, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, I was like,
But 20 minutes in, I forget it's an animation, and I can't even, there have been some more serious movies to where I'll just let that shit play. I'm gonna go use the restroom right quick, and I'm gonna come right back.
Right.
With this one, I'm pausing that muffin. I'm standing and waiting till a good point to pause it before I go use the restroom and then come back, or I'm gonna go get me something to drink. I don't want to miss none of it, because it was that engaging,
Yeah.
And again, I promise you,
I think
I'm not an animation guy.
Based on this comment, he just didn't like the animation. That he said he didn't like that style. So I think
eat the cake animation.
Yeah, I think it was definitely different.
Everything can't be Dragon Ball Z, man. I understand.
Hold on. He said, and they use like literally any animation style. Example, Aaron Magruder's style when he made Boondocks. Yeah, the style was definitely different. It was kind of that how they were walking and how they were moving. But I think it, just depends on whatever your style. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Like Mortal Kombat almost.
CJ, was you sober while you was watching it, or you had something to drink?
Probably tripping him out.
But let's go to chapter 2, which was Bright, Light, and White. That dude, his co-worker, I was just ready for him to chop him in the throat, man. I couldn't stand that dude the way he was talking, and he was kind of like the guy from Hollywood Shuffle that was like, "Yeah, my brother, you don't want to take that part," and then it was like, "Yeah, he don't want it. I do."
But that's another aspect of the movie that gave it some credibility as being a legit film, because they covered a topic that is a real topic, right? He got into this industry, he landed this job, and that's what, in my estimation, that's what a lot of artists would be struggling with. Do you want me to be me? Which is this dark, creative, taking chances side, or are you trying to whiten me up, so to speak, So I think that was a great chapter, and I think it covered a pretty heavy, understandable topic in a situation like this.
Yeah.
What was dope about that whiten me up part is, if you pay attention at the very beginning when they get to the restaurant, Shorty knew they was gonna whiten them up. She was like, "Hey, don't let them change your joint."
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
So that was the gateway to it right there.
Right. And that was one of those us conversations. You see, that was one of the aspects that I said, that's black talk, that there's a lot of people who would have missed that,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she, and then she said it without saying it. She was like, And it goes back to what I've said 1,000 times. You can have 4 black women in a room, all of them saying, all of us know exactly what each one of them meant.
That's right. Yep. And hey, you have to take some chances, because there's a couple of little comments like that, or little noises like that, and to be trusting of your audience to do that in an animated film, to where you got to just be engaged in it. You can get away with that whenever we looking at each other's faces and we can see facial expressions and stuff like that, to go with that. But to do that in an animated film and for us to all catch it,
right?
I mean, hell, that says all you need to know about this.
Oh, even his ex, the facial expression she was making when he was talking, and she was cooking breakfast or she was cooking something, and she was just like, giving the side eye and kind of rolling her eyes and folding her arms. I mean, even the part where she was talking about, were you with somebody or you were with somebody?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All that emotion was there.
Yeah, I'm not saying at that point, Wilkes, I am not looking at a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at an animated film. I'm really not. My mind has forgotten the fact that I'm watching an animated movie.
It's engulfed.
And if anybody walked in on me, they'd be like, "Nigga, you watching a cartoon?" I'd be like, "Huh?" It would have threw me. Like, no, what are you talking about? No, this.
And hell, just like I mean, a lot of, I mean, even with some music now, are going animated videos.
Yeah.
You know, so in a sense, I got where they were going, but this really felt. Yes, bright colors, yes, the drawing, the artwork, but it still had a heavy presence of this is day in and day out. This is life. Just I feel like I can
think about
express it
this,
more.
man. Think about where we're going with regard to virtual reality and
the metaverse,
and all this other kind of stuff, man. If you get on the cutting edge of being able to tell a story like this in this fashion, you understand, and you become the expert at it, and you become you follow what I'm saying, the authority on it, so to speak. You know, considering where we're going in life, this could be even bigger than they thinking right now.
I have to say, I think Lovecraft Country could make it like this. I think it could get away with being animated.
Shut up, Vern. We didn't ask you that, man.
Wow.
Hey,
didn't nobody come to see you, Otis? Let me tell you, like A-Trap used to say, didn't nobody come to see you, Otis?
But go ahead, Wilkes. I don't know if you.
No, I was just saying. I even think Lovecraft Country could get away with something like this. I mean, it's one of those things where, but you have to, you know, it can catch the weight of the moment if I can use that.
Yeah, and I think to the point of this film, the ex wasn't really. I don't think she was keeping it real with him like the next door neighbor was. That she was just straight up with him, like, hey, you know they got to try to flip what you're doing.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I think that's kind of where the connection came. She was kind of she seemed kind of high sedity, and he was like, I ain't really on that level. And the same way with the guy that was her, I guess that was her manager, her art manager or something. When she was about to smoke in the car, and he was like, really? You know, they should have dated each other because they seemed like they were more so, you know, on the same level.
Nah. She was real, man. I mean, she was extremely. This was black. This was super duper black. This was classic New York black.
I'm talking about the ex. I'm talking about the ex.
No, I'm just saying
okay.
That wouldn't have worked because, like she said, she even said, remember her white homegirl was like, "What? You ain't never thought about homeboy?" She's like, "No, all white men look alike."
Yeah,
I mean, this joint was so black.
Oppression.
Yeah.
This joint was so black, man. It was insane, and that was one of the things. The dialogue sold me on this entire get down.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It carried the weight of day in and day out conversations. If you're at the office, if you're on the phone, at lunch, at a hangout, you know, it carries.
If you with your boys. Yeah, whatever.
I've been a part of a few conversations that took place in this film. I've been a part of
it carries that weight very well.
Yeah. And then last part with chapter 2, excuse me. When he said not a lot of us. Like how many of that conversation that we had with somebody when they walk in the door, we like, look, let me pull you to the side real quick. Ain't a lot of us in here. So let me give you the rundown. And Doc, you talked about that.
Code switch.
Yeah, right. Yep. Numerous times. Being able to mentor people, you know.
Yeah.
Chapter 3, Secret Spot. I thought this was dope on so many levels because I've had vegan burgers. My wife had me trying different stuff, and I'm like, this can't be vegan or you know, non-meat. But everybody got that spot that they go to. And when somebody else goes to it, they're like, this all right.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, this is my spot, though.
Right.
You may not be feeling it like I am, but this is my spot. So, I mean, I felt like that was super relatable. And it was black. It was that spot made me think of Slutty Vegan, because that's out of Atlanta, because a lot of people how that spot's blown up. But she's able to flip, you know, traditional food and make it vegan. So give me your thoughts on chapter 3, Doc.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. As soon as they introduced her and she was doing the sage thing, I was like, great, a fucking sage burner. Right. Fuck, don't go here with her. You know what I'm saying? So that whole vegan thing, you know, vegans don't like me. You know, because I'm like, if vegan is so good, why y'all try to make everything look like our food? You know, why I need to look like a hamburger? Why I need to look like a meatball?
It's a mental
why
thing.
I need to look like vegan is so good, just let the shit be good.
Right.
That's the point, though. It ain't good. Presentation and everything. It's gotta be presentable. If it was a bunch of vegetables balled up into a hamburger bun, nobody would eat that. It's got to be presentable.
You got to do a lot of shit to make it taste good. If you got to get weird shit to glue it together, you don't need to be eating it.
Yeah. And with a cow, all you got to do is cut the horns off and wipe its ass, and it's good.
There you go. Damn squash soup. You got to boil the squash. You got to get the coconut milk. You got to get the cream the pea.
They did make the burger look good, didn't they?
Yeah.
They made it. They sold it, man. You know, like damn.
At first, I thought it was the Greasy Spoon in Houston, but it just said Greasy Spoon.
Right. And even after, let's again more dialogue afterwards where they talking about. He's like, "Hey, I appreciate you for buying me a burger," and she goes, "Burgers," you know, and they, you know, that kind of dialogue. I'm like, that's pretty dope, you know.
He said, "Well, I'll go buy everything."
Yeah. This was an easy watch, man. You could you could just sit down and watch this, and you felt like you were vibing to it. And the music, A-Trap, the music, and throughout this whole thing, it just fit perfectly with everything. And he had a song for everything, which I'm sure they probably put it together that way. But the song went well. It wasn't out of sync. To me, it was nothing I could really say that was wrong with this movie.
Yeah, well, hey, check it out. You were immediately talking about the Kid Cudi cuts on there, but the fact that you got a Minnie Riperton cut on there, and you got a Drew Hill cut on there, and they chopping up, Drew Hill what's his name?
Pre-Thong Cisco.
Pre-Thong Cisco and all that kind of stuff, you know. I mean, but again, you dropped a Minnie Riperton cut on this movie. That like, you know, that let me put it like this. They covered such a wide spectrum of Black people in 4 or 5 characters. You know what I'm saying? And they represented so many of us, you know, and the types of people we are, and the kind of styles that we have, and the way we vibe, and the lanes that we're in, and all that other kind of stuff. I thought they captured that so freaking well.
Yeah. And even the music that they used that didn't have lyrics, but if you caught the melody, if you caught the beat, you knew what it was.
Right. Yeah. But
I
couldn't get down with her sage burning, but I could get down with her sitting there listening to some music and burning one. No, you know. So think about it. The sage burner is the same person that's vibing to Minnie Riperton and smoking one, right? You know. So think about it for a second. Think about how many people in real life that are sage burning vegans that we may not get connected with because we say you're a fucking sage burning vegan, but they may be so cool and so dope on so many other areas. That's, you know what I'm saying? You know. And again, that is another way to where the Fourcast does not review movies the way your dad is Siskel and Ebert is. We get some shit out of it and some aspects out of it that other folks just don't. You know. And think about it. Who would have thought watching a movie like this makes us question the way we interact with people and the way we build relationships? I'm a relationship builder. And yet a movie got me to question, well, shit, you could probably be even better if you didn't judge books by their cover so much.
Like I said, it carries the weight of these things well.
I think the biggest thing that this movie did was show the multifaceted piece of all of us. We all are not just one particular person. It showed how multifaceted we are, how we are at work, how we are when we kicking it, how we are when we're out, how we are when he was with his sister. That part too, he was more vulnerable. That was probably the most vulnerable that he was with his sister. So I mean, like to me, they killed it. A-Trap. I think you were gonna say something.
Oh, no, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, you know what? I would just like to add one thing. You said it shows how different we are, but it also showed that we're all the same because we all related to that one sibling that you gonna rap with, you gonna break it on down with. You know, like me and my oldest sister Teddy, Bo, y'all call her Blue Street. Me and Bo, we are rap on one level. Me and Phyllis rap on another level. Me and Suge, we rap on another level. And me and Wanga, we don't talk about anything the other three talk about. The other three will never talk about stuff that me and Wanga talk about. So,
Yeah.
You know, and Suge look at me and Wanga as weird. Suge thinks it's weird that me and Wanga relate because he think Wanga is Wanga is, if you met Wanga, you would think he is a sage burning vegan. And you would think everybody thinks that I'm, with the name and my personality, I'm a white man hating rebel. But I'm closer to the sage burner and he's closer to, he's closer to the other side.
Yeah.
So it's just
and I think one of the funniest lines, I don't know if y'all peeped it, when he said, I don't know if it was Ty Dolla $ign or somebody, he was like, is that them Beyonce niggas? They went across the screen dancing. I'm like, that was so random, but it was hella funny at the same time. Like that was perfect. That was perfect. And shout out to the non-actors. Like I haven't seen Ty Dolla $ign in anything. The main character that was Meadow, she's actually a part of a podcast. I'm sure she does a lot of other things. I think it's called Two Dope Queens.
Two Dope Queens,
yeah. I mean, so again, that goes back to just telling you the podcast is really the beginning, I think, of your creativity and you know where you can go with things.
All right, I think that brings us up to a point to where I can come on in here, right, man? So down and introduce me, sir.
I got you. I'm gonna have to change to the other banners though, because I think you put the photos on the wrong.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, but I'll flip it over there to you.
Okay.
Where is it? We'll get there. Hey, beauty of the week.
I see you. Okay, so he mentioned her character name. Her character name is Meadow. And again, I'm going to tell you right now, my beauty of the week is a chick who I saw. When I first saw her, I said to myself, great, a fucking sage burner. And she turns out to be my beauty of the week. And her name is Jessica Renee Williams. And you want to talk about Black Queen. This one do it for me, man. I am not kidding you. Everything about her. I watched her in this is probably my favorite cut of her right there. Artist in and of itself. But I watched a YouTube video of her. And not only did she do the podcast Two Dope Queens, but she also served as a senior correspondent on the Daily Show. That ain't no small bean, you know. But this is my first time coming across anything that she's done, you know. She's out of LA. That's where she was born at. She also played in this film, Fantastic Beast film series. And again, that's not in my genre or whatever, you know.
Harry Potter.
Apparently she's been out there, you know, but to hear her interviewed, she's really close to her character in this movie in terms of how well she communicates, how enlightened she is, you know, and stuff like that. She's got a great sense of humor, you know, and whatnot. So yeah, this was hands down my beauty of the week. I didn't think I was gonna have one, being that it was an animated film, but you know, because again, we're already looking at voices, so to speak. But she did such a fantastic job. Her voice made me want to see Who Is You.
Yeah,
even the X. You could have picked the X too.
Yeah, but the X was. But see, here's the deal: the X played her character too well.
Yeah,
and so that character didn't, you know,
kind of killed the vibe though.
But shit, if you want to pass the joint while we brushing our teeth, man, you can burn all the sage you want.
Yeah, she left with Jon Stewart. When Jon Stewart left the Daily Show, she left.
Okay.
Yeah, she mad funny.
Yeah. Now they had a whole nother transition with
Jon Stewart and Dave Chappelle close, ain't they? Ain't that the
maybe he was in half baked? He was definitely in half baked.
I think they super close, man. Yeah.
I think he's been in some of the outros on Dave Chappelle's stand-up.
Okay, yeah, I think they super close. So, but no, that's big, man, for her to be in that, and on the Daily Show and get that kind of pub,
She used to be on there at least 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, so I really believe this is just the beginning for her too. I think we're gonna see her more and more because she's one of those kind of people. And I saw on this YouTube video getting interviewed, I said to myself, I was like, she's got an infectious personality. When she gets around people, they're gonna want to be around her a lot more.
Right.
Yeah. And shout out to Two Dope Queens because the co-host, she has a show of her own. I think it's on Comedy Central. So I mean, like they're killing the game.
I think that's just on YouTube, man. I think her show is just on YouTube.
Okay, her name's Phoebe. I think Phoebe Robinson. Yeah. So I mean, shout out to them and what they're doing. Chapter 4. Before we get into chapter 4, we can take a quick break, and we'll be right back as we are talking Entergalactic. It's available on Netflix. Definitely suggest you checking it out. If you got the Netflix plan, or get your mommy or your daddy's login, and we'll get you taken care of.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
All right, welcome back to the Fourcast, Chapter 4, Hunan. Now, I was waiting for them to say Punani because if y'all remember, Wilkes, I don't know if Doc and A-Trap, y'all was using that. But once you figured out what that meant, I was in middle school, whatever grade that was, we use that all
That's
the
an
time.
age joke, so take this, man. Every time my child was using that.
Of course, I remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, we was using that in the 60s.
And we was getting that. You hear me, young boy? We were using it and getting it. Now what?
Y'all was using that. Yeah, thanks.
Shoot at us.
I love y'all.
A-Trap and Diving, y'all were using that.
Right, yeah.
Back in the 40s, y'all were saying that.
Back in the Truman days. I don't know.
Didn't you tell Ivan that before JFK got shot?
Wow.
But that was a good chapter 2, which kind of touched me into the friends.
It is a twist on Punani, right? But it's maybe that New York twist, A-Trap, you think?
No, I think it's just the upgrade of the word,
just evolves.
Yeah. Maybe it's not a good choice, but like when we were younger, they would call crackheads would call cluckers, and my DJ just called them clucks.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So he's a cluck. I'm like,
Yeah, good example. So Jabari and Meadow finally got it on. I think that we've seen that in so many shows. The Office is a prime example. Abbott Elementary, if anybody's watching that,
dope show.
I've heard good things about it. I got to check it out.
Dope show. Shirley Ralph in the building.
Great job. Yeah, shout out to her as well. But you got the love interest. They don't know. They're trying to figure things out. They see each other. They're into each other. So I thought that was a good That was a good chapter. And that chapter ends with the crazy ex. I don't know if she's necessarily crazy, but she sent the most opportune text at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
That really, and I don't remember him going over there. He said he went over there.
He did.
He did, but they went back through it.
It was a flashback to him going
Right.
to work.
Yeah, he went over there to.
Well, I kind of
I
missed.
guess she had a rat in the apartment.
Oh, right. That's right. You're right. Yeah, he came over there. He was in there for literally 5 seconds because once he seen the rat, he ran out. Martin style.
You see some of the big rats in New York, you run too.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. But chapter 4. Anybody want to touch on that one?
Chapter 4 is a classic romantic comedy scene. And that book came out back when me and Doc were like 19. But Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Yeah,
there's certain things that men do. This was a classic. This is what men do when we ain't on nothing. But they don't know I'm letting you do this because I ain't doing nothing. And this is my, one of y'all said, opening up to.
Yeah.
This is me. I'm taking off everything. I'm taking off my armor. If I set my phone on your side of the bed, I ain't doing nothing.
Right.
That's what we're thinking.
Right.
But because of the world is so chaotic, you always on trial in their mind.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest misunderstanding between men and women, if you ask me. Yeah. They are looking for the truth, and we are, none of us are communicating fully. Like they should have said, hey, we together. And then it would have been less trepidation. But he's giving gestures of we're together. My phone over there. You can answer it if you like. And she like, what's going on? I don't trust it. And it's just, it was classic, man. And I really appreciated that because that is the kind of thing that will destroy a relationship, poor communication. I dug it.
Yeah. And it's real. I done told females sometimes like, look, hey, it could be 6 months later, 9 months later. And I can't control what text gets shot across there. That don't mean we talked last week. I ain't talked to her 9 months.
Right.
Shit. Yeah. I make one funny post on Facebook. She come across it or something like that. Hey, big head. Or she see I'm, oh, this nigga in Costa Rica. Let me shoot this bikini shot over there to him and let him know who he should have took with him. Whatever. I can't control none of that, but that don't mean I'm talking to her.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the after effect of them not talking to each other but not talking to each other because they saying the same stuff to other people. That's another mistake that we make. We go to our crew and we tell them what's going on, and the first thing she said, girl, this ain't about him, it's about you. Then they like, man, you should have left her alone anyway. Then they telling him crazy stories.
Yeah.
So that is a prime example of how stuff really goes down.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite part in that part was is when, and again, it's that one homie who trifling. You can't take advice from him on nothing but how to microwave popcorn. And then you got that one homie who may not be as seasoned in regards to interaction with other women, but he will give you sage information. And he was like, look, dog, you need to block shorty and you need to call your woman.
Right.
And and the funny thing is Big Illinois is both of those dudes.
Both in one.
Yeah, Big Illinois is, well, put it like this. We have a nickname for our crew, and it's called Slime Ball. And he was like, you slime balling? Nah, man, you need to. Big Illinois asked me a question once. I'll tell y'all later, but it helped fix us. It helped fix me as a human being. And so me and Big Illinois have been slime balling, and
being in the joint, you get a lot of wisdom, don't you?
Appreciate you for tuning in. I think this is a new.
No, that's Anicia. She listens all the time. That's my homegirl, Shay. We grew up together.
Okay, all right. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. Anybody else want to touch on chapter 4?
Nope.
I think it's been said.
Yeah, the funniest one that's now relatable is It Was Yellow when she gave him the thumbs up, and it was like, hold on, was it a skin tone or was it yellow? He was like, it was yellow. And it was like, dun dun dun.
Yeah, she know, nigga.
It's over for you.
Yeah, quick second.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, that brought it into today's era, obviously with cell phones and with how emojis and all that.
She didn't even take the time to make sure her skin tone was right.
Yeah, that was just a quick response. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Right,
Sure.
right back at you. Yeah.
That was
dope. It showed the levels of an early relationship, and when you go through your first argument, when you go through your first situation that comes up, and how you handle it. And so the last one was Do It On Purpose, which his sister kind of came in. I was trying to figure out who that was. That was the voiceover for his sister, but that was that person. Like, hey, if you really love this person, you gotta go for it and you gotta do it. And that's how to do it on purpose, which I think means definitely says a lot.
The crazy thing is the way this was animated, a lot of people would have worked in this setting.
Yeah.
Like Jill Scott would have worked. Q-Tip would have worked. I mean, it's animated to the point where you could just think of voices that would and actors or entertain.
Which is why I think this will serve as an inspiration piece for a lot of folks, man. And I think this may jump off some stuff, really.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And this was a current hip hop film, basically, is what it was.
Yeah.
I also got J. Cole vibes when I was watching it, which I was surprised that J. Cole was not in it or his music, but I got J. Cole vibes as when I was watching it.
Yeah.
Who would you make Q-Tip?
What's that?
Who would you make Q-Tip?
I don't know. I guess he would have to be somebody that was his homeboy, maybe working in maybe a delivery kind of business. Maybe he got his own. He got his own business, kind of thing. I think that would work. I think he could pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, you could have really put anybody.
Q-Tip.
Yeah, the main character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that you said it, yeah. I mean, I've asked for years why don't I got a lot of homeboys who MCs and they don't rhyme anymore. And I ask them regularly, why don't y'all write a movie, man? I mean, because I got a homeboy, he's just nice. He's super nice, and he don't do anything with it. And he tells stories in his music. And I always wondered, like, why not just write a movie?
Yeah, a lot of there's definitely some voices that would work in this setting.
Yeah. And Kenya Burris, Kenya Burris does Blackish, all the different versions of that, all the different spinoffs of Blackish. I think they got 3 or 4.
Black
I think he's also a part of, I think, the new film coming out, which we're going to review next week. You People. I think he's the director of that as well, which is a new film with Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill, Neil. I think Neil Long's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a reverse? Who's coming to dinner?
Yep. I would think so. Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
Or guess who's coming to dinner?
But Eddie got that. Eddie got that Adam Sandler deal. Like I can't.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm thinking. I mean, he's out. He had Dolomite. He had. He's got this one. He had another film, Coming to America. Now it wasn't on Netflix.
Oh no,
I think. Yeah,
I feel like he had something else on Netflix.
I was thinking that too.
Axel Foley. Is that coming to Netflix?
I think so.
Maybe.
I think it is.
Maybe, but Eddie's making that comeback, so we can be reviewing.
Maybe that's something we need to do. Because didn't we talk about doing one of Eddie's old movies, like the one of the Beverly Hills Cops or something like that?
I think we did.
48 Hours or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do, if we're gonna do the Axel Foley, maybe do Beverly Hills Cop and then come back and do Axel Foley a week later.
Whenever it comes out. Yeah.
Man, anything Eddie, I'm in.
Yeah.
Eddie is
48 Hours used to be my joint, man. Every time that sucker was on, I'm watching.
48 Hours was it, man. And Nick Nolte, man.
Roxanne.
Be quiet down there.
Yeah, man. I used to love that. Yeah, those movies were so dark and gritty, man. And I love
because even Beverly Hills Cop had those moments where you got comedy relief, but there were moments where it's like, okay, we're going in guns.
It's the real deal shit. Yeah.
Some people gonna die in this police
raid. You tell they was using real life instances, like using the coffee to cover up smell of drugs and stuff like that. Art and its influence and position on the drug cartel and the drug gang. A lot of folks don't understand art's position when it comes to drugs and laundering money and all that other stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't pay attention to the canvases I got in my house.
Don't look too close.
Yeah. Don't pay too close attention.
Right.
Oh, this is Blue Street right here.
Strong smell of coffee in your house. I thought you just was a Folgers kind of guy.
Yeah, man. Eddie is a classic actor. Definitely ageless, man. He's making what his third, probably. I'm not gonna say comeback, but I'm gonna say his third, maybe resurgence.
Globe,
yeah. So,
what do they call it? Reinventing of himself.
Right, exactly. Because he went from comedy to doing not adult comedy, but like dad comedy. He
put out a bunch of pootie tangs, didn't he? Like 3. Not the Nutty Professor, but what's the one with the animals and shit?
Oh, Doolittle.
Doolittle. But I was about 3 of them.
I think I only watched one. I never watched the rest of them.
I ain't watching no kids movies.
Yeah,
but the Clumps was that was in between kind of kid and adult.
Yeah, I like the Clumps.
Yeah, that was classic.
Oops, that was an accident.
I was about to say, did I click that?
All right, let's rate this shit, man.
Yeah, let's get right to it. Rating and final thoughts. If you're new, you rate it 1 to 5 mics, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. You guys can jump in. Those that are tuning in. So we're gonna go to A-Trap first.
5. I loved it.
Yeah.
Period. End of story.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, looks.
I don't 5. I respect that. Not for me, but I definitely respect where A-Trap. I love the pick, by the way, A-Trap. I thought you had watched it, so good eye on that one.
No, I just read the.
I'd have to put it at a 4, I guess, but I feel like I'm
a straight up 4.
What's
straight
that?
Up 4?
Straight up 4.
Yeah, I feel like I'm lowballing it, but I'm going with.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. Dog.
I'm at a 4.5 myself, so I'm exactly in between where those two gentlemen are.
Yeah.
And that's only because I keep 5 in very, 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 very high esteem.
Yeah.
But I think considering what this is, I think the possibilities, I think the art of it, the future of it, when you talk about inspiring other people and the potential and all that other kind of stuff, I think it's a solid 4.5, but I would not argue with the 5.
Yeah. It was art, really at its finest. Just art in film, art in actual art in music.
Yeah.
I could not find anything wrong. There was nothing I could say I could nitpick. But I am going to go with
you almost got racist and said nigga. I'm going to say I ain't going to nigga pick this.
But I'm going to give it a 4.5. I was thinking 5, but 5 I think to me is in the upper echelon of what we review. It could possibly be a 5 though, but I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Close. Yeah, I wouldn't argue.
It's close. It was art. Like when we talk
at
about
the end of the day, still in all fairness, it's one of the highest rated films we've collectively graded, right? It got a 4.5.
Yeah.
If you took all of our grades, it came out as a 4.5,
Right.
In fact, that's what we probably need to be doing. Like when we post these on YouTube or whatever, you know how like in Google or something, it'll show we need to be able to, we need to figure that out so we can, when people look at it, they can see what our movies got collectively. You know?
Right. That's
we may not be able to go back and do that, but start it from
forward,
here on out.
Going forward, yeah.
Because this one would come in as a 4.5 collective.
You can go to edit on the title, man.
Yeah, on the title, put the stars.
Before you end it, put the collective.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely down. I'll say from now on, whatever we collectively come at it with, I'll put that on for this one.
Because there may be a situation where some people may look at it and be trying to determine, am I going to watch it?
I'm gonna watch this,
or whatever.
Even am I gonna watch this video?
Yeah,
you know, based on what that rating is. So that's a great idea. I think most importantly, it gave me a look into the mind of Kid Cudi, which we wonder what type of artist is he. This told me a lot.
For the single gentleman out there, we all have that playlist. If you know what I'm talking about, a couple of tracks got added to that playlist. You understand what I'm saying? From this, so
absolutely.
Kid, and then hopefully by the time the week over with, I'll be able to see how well it works.
Yeah.
The soundtrack dope, man.
Yeah, definitely. And the Intergalactic album, which is on all streaming platforms. You definitely check that out there.
It's smart business by him, man. Smart business, man.
Definitely. And Theodore, we will be doing the film that
Blue Streak Free.
We'll be doing that film. What was it called? What was that? What the Lord made, or what I think it was called. What the Lord made.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's gonna be coming up in the future, in the next probably month or two. But what's coming up tomorrow on
Say the next week movie.
So we're gonna do next week. We're gonna do You People, and then after that, we haven't necessarily finalized it. But since you guys are on, we could do a little bit of on-air discussion. I agree with what you put in the chat, though.
Yeah, that was cool. That was dope.
To kind of mix it up that way.
The heavy flow days and the light flow days.
I couldn't pass that
one. Yeah. So I would say You People, and then after that, probably go to. Is that Black Enough for you? I think that would be. That's probably. That's probably gonna be a heavy one. I'm sure.
Okay. So
not really. It ain't super heavy.
No, but I just think heavier than You People.
Right.
Yeah. And then the light, we could go back to.
I want to do Teddy Pendergrass sooner rather than later.
So why don't we do Teddy the week after?
It's not as heavy.
We could do.
Teddy ain't heavy.
Huh?
Teddy ain't heavy.
No, I'm saying it's not as heavy. That's what I'm saying. With that, Teddy is going into the light one.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You People, and then turn them off.
No, You People ain't heavy. That's what I'm saying. We need a heavy in there.
Oh, heavy. Oh,
yeah. So is that Black Enough for you?
What about the one Bo was talking about? Is that heavy? God made it or something like that?
Something the Lord made.
No, that ain't heavy. It can be, but I think that is that Black Enough for you probably is a bit heavy.
I think that'll fit. I think that'll fit perfect. And then the light, we'll go with Teddy. Then the other heavy.
We can come back with Something the Lord made after that if y'all want.
Yeah.
After Teddy.
And then light, we could do I guess we could do Willie Mays or Louis Armstrong.
Nah, Louis Armstrong, man. I think that's more in our deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Both of them dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch the Willie Mays one regardless.
Yeah, we're gonna do that for sure. But I just think
hopefully did you write that down?
No.
I thought you were
I got it though. I got it. I'm putting it in the chat right now.
Okay. All right, so that's what we got coming up. End of the bench.
I'm gonna do a show entitled $40 million sharecroppers.
Mm.
And do the sharecropping thing late. I may not even get to all of it. I got so many things on the list tomorrow. I can't do it long because I got an interview on NPR tomorrow at 7:30, so I can't go long.
Oh, you got an interview on NPR?
Yeah, this dude who was a Navy commander, and he's a Navy commander, and he used to work for the DIA. He has a show now, and he wants to talk to me. I was like, ack.
Yeah, that's the guy you were saying that went from one life to
no. That's my homeboy, Craig. Craig is who you're thinking of. This is Craig's homeboy.
Okay. That's what's up. Well, send us the link. I don't know if it's the link or not, but
yeah, I don't know how it's gonna go.
Yeah,
so.
But let us know definitely so we can check it out and support and share
for sure. But yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna talk about. Well, initially I was gonna talk about how we are sharecropping in regards to athletics, but then Governor DeSantis said, "Hey, look at this trick bag. I'm pulling this out," and then there's so many other things.
This guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and then Missouri started attacking women clothes, and it snowballed into some other things. So now I may not get through half the stuff I want to get through because I'm gonna have to keep this at a quick hour.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a tight hour tomorrow, but hopefully I can get to that $40 million sharecropping thing because it is important that we realize that we are driving a culture, and one of the things I want to touch on is the fact that Dr. Dre is going to sell a portion of his catalog for $200 million. When you hear $200 million, the average human being is going, God, that's a lot of money. But when you're talking about being able to put your music and movies and commercials and things of that nature, you are earning money into perpetuity, and we are always looking at the short game of $200 million instead of the long game of $2 billion over your children's grandchildren's life.
Right.
So that's what made me say $40 million sharecroppers. And then I also have consistently said when we call people slaves and they're getting paid $40 million, it's an insult to our ancestors because ain't no slaves.
Right.
Yeah.
They play the long game.
Appreciate you, Doc. Mm-hmm. But that's a whole that is an interesting topic because I'm interested to hear a lot of artists are doing this now.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it a money?
It's a tax deal. If they left it, if the catalog was not sold by the time they passed away, it's a whole different tax implication for their kids. So that's why they trying to sell it ahead of time to get a guaranteed amount that's not, subject to those taxes.
Yeah. But then all they have to do is put it in a trust. But I
don't know. I think that, people in that, at that level, I think they got some attorneys and trust attorneys and things of that nature that know, how they can get around that stuff. But I'm talking about there's some big name artists that are, selling their catalogs,
they have. Lil Wayne, I think Lil Wayne's done it.
Lil Wayne did it. Taylor Swift didn't do it. Taylor Swift, actually, she beat the game. Taylor Swift went and re-recorded all her music.
Mm-hmm.
And took total control of it.
Yeah.
So, I'd rather my children pay a ridiculous amount of taxes than to give away what I worked, what pulled me up out the mud. Because Phil Knight, he ain't giving away nothing. And this dude, he's the current richest dude in the world. And I'm going to talk about him. And he has left, he owns Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Tag Heuer, and he put his children in charge of those three companies. And that's where we're spending a lot of our money. Right there. Oh, yeah, he also owns Hennessy.
Anything.
Yeah, that company is together. They actually have that Hennessy Louis Vuitton is actually a thing.
One company, yeah. Yeah, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Tag Heuer, and there's something else on this list. I left it off.
I think
That's why I said we're sharecropping.
I think
we're building up the brand, and they're getting all the money.
Yeah, I think Moet is a part of the list.
Yeah, Moet. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Even though it tastes like throw up.
All right, Queen 3 and King tomorrow.
Tomorrow's episode is entitled She Bad. I will be interviewing Katina Washington. This is a Black female entrepreneur who started the She Experience in the Indianapolis area. Black female entrepreneurs. She did it. You know how they have these events at like Market Hall and stuff like that. These big fairs and whatnot for several vendors and stuff like that. She started just doing something like that, and it blew up. And she even ended up opening a couple of stores in the mall there called the She Experience and the She Experience Black. And, so she's just a go-getter. And so we're going to talk to her and hopefully inspire some young Black females and, answer some questions on how she got from point A to point B and some of the roadblocks that she had to face and some of the challenges today with family and with, competitors and with, other heads of corporations that she had to interact with and stuff like that. So it ought to be fun. She's super cool. She's a military veteran, just cool cat. So we'll talk to her tomorrow. She bad.
Oh, well, that's what's coming up tomorrow. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And as we always do, A-Trap, go ahead and close this out.
You already know. It's the beginning of the year. I'm saving up and I ain't got my taxes yet. So if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
Get it from God.
Good rich, bitches. See, he's supposed to play the theme as soon as we say that.
I know. I'm a little off.
He's not the professor. Let's reset in 3, 2, 1. Hood rich, bitches.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.